Regular programming will not be seen at this time. Please stay tuned for the following special program.
A NewsCenter 13 sports exclusive. Live from the War Memorial, it's the 1988 Section 5 AAA Basketball Championship game. The McQuaid Jesuit Knights take on the Webster High School Warriors. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers Restaurants, by your Rochester area four-county Ford team, quality people, quality products, by Ruoff Incorporated, the Total Waste Service Company, celebrating their 65th anniversary.
The Rochester War Memorial is alive tonight, awash in the black and gold of McQuaid and the blue and gold of the Warriors of Webster. Everyone, thank you for joining us. We are so glad to have you here. We're glad to be here ourselves. This should be a great basketball game. I'm Doug Emblidge, along with Edison High coach Dick O'Toole. There is really nothing like the excitement of high school basketball, especially when you get to the championship game.
This is just a tremendous atmosphere to play basketball in. I'm sure every player would love to have this throughout the whole season because just get your adrenaline going and you just can't help but play a good ball game.
The top-seeded Webster Warriors, the number 2 seed McQuaid Knights here tonight. McQuaid has a front wall like none in Section 5, at least in the memory of Dick O'Toole. 6'6", 6'8", 6'11". The 6'8" man is, of course, Greg Woodard, bound for Villanova.
He's just a great player. One of the best, if not the best, I've seen come out of Rochester in my time. He's very unselfish. He'll play as a team player. He's the man that McQuaid likes to get the ball to. If he doesn't have the shot, he won't force it. He plays good defense. Just a primetime player all the way.
And then the big guy in the middle, Scott Martzloff, a senior bound for Holy Cross. 6'10", I said he is a 6'11" basketball player.
Scott's done a great job for McQuaid the last 2 years. I think he's improved over last year's play up to this year. They need his rebounding, they need his scoring in the middle, I think, for them to be successful tonight.
The Webster Warriors will run it up the court. They love to play the fast break. And the man pushing the ball up the court for Webster is a senior named Chuck Blackman, and boy, is he quick.
Chuck's an excellent backcourt man. He's the conductor of the orchestra. He brings the ball up, he can pull up, take the three, he can shoot the two, dish it off, drive the middle. He's a creator, and that's what Webster's going to need tonight.
And one of the guys he'll dish off to is Bill Mason, another senior, and a lot of talent in that kid.
Yes, Bill's had a real nice year. He's had 2 good years. He's an unselfish ball player. He plays very, very hard. He'll play inside. He'll come out to the perimeter. He rebounds. He plays good defense. Another one of your called primetime players.
We are excited about the game we're about to see, and joining us in the broadcast tonight is my colleague from NewsCenter 13 Sports, Mike Catalana, and he will be roaming about the War Memorial tonight. Mike?
Thanks, Doug, and with me, the men of the hour, the men who run these 2 clubs that have made their way to the AAA Finals. Bill O'Rourke of Webster, Joe Marchese of McQuaid. We'll start with the defending champs, McQuaid. You come into this game on a roll. You've been winning right up since December, just the 1 loss. How is your team coming into the championship?
Well, I think we're ready. We've been playing well, I think, in the last half of the season. We're ready for the game.
Much is made about the offense that you get out of your team, but a lot of people don't talk about your defense, one of the strongest in Section 5.
I agree. That seems like it's been the case all year long. People have noted us as being a high-scoring team, but I think when you can hold a team like Rush Henrietta to 49 points, I think you play pretty good defense. So we like to pride ourselves on our defense, really.
Well, the man on my right knows about the offense he's going to have to contend with tonight, especially that front wall. There's some big kids you got to go against.
Probably the biggest front wall in Section 5 history, and they look bigger every time I see them. We just have to be aggressive and play our best game.
Would we expect to see you try to play the up-tempo game that's worked so well for you?
Well, I think so. You try to do the things that got you here, and to change now would be, I think, it'd be a mistake.
Okay, you have it here. Not enemies. These guys were sitting together at the lunch the other day for Section 5. The kids are friends, but tonight they are going at it. Back to you, Doug.
Thanks, Mike. We hope you will sit back, relax, and enjoy what should be a great AAA championship game tonight between Webster and McQuaid. We'll be back to the War Memorial right after this.
Ford trucks are #1. Here at home, Ford outsells Chevy and Dodge. Because Ford truck value is better than ever.
Ranger and F-Series pickups, America's best built. You get a great deal. Save hundreds more on options.
Then Ford gives you even more cash back. Hundreds more.
You like your trucks tough? Buy a Ford.
You like saving hundreds of dollars? And see a Rochester area Ford County Ford team
Today.
You're working and playing and building a dream. We're working and saying we're part of your team.
Tops never stops, saving you more. Tops never stops, look what's in store.
You'll find that we're friendly, you'll see that we serve. We make it exciting, that's what you deserve.
Tops never stops, bringing freshness to you. Tops never stops, 'cause neither do you.
You're working and playing and building a dream. We're working and saying we're part of your team.
Tops never stops,
Make us your store.
Tops never stops, saving you more. Tops never stops.
Welcome back to the Rochester War Memorial. We are set for a great game, and so are the fans of McQuaid and Webster. We have, if not a full house, just about a full house here tonight. We look around the War Memorial, and there are a lot of fans here for what should be a great basketball game. Let's take a look at how the two teams, Webster and McQuaid, got to the War Memorial and the championship game.
Webster came into the tournament as the #1 seed, winners of 16 in a row. In Game 1, a matchup with last year's runner-up, Fairport. Webster's Bill Mason led a balanced attack with 21 as the Warriors won by 11. Then came a rematch with Irondequoit, the only team to beat Webster this year. This time, the results were different. Mason was the scoring star again with 27 in a 9-point win. That led Webster to the semifinals and a battle with Canandaigua. Point guard Chuck Blackman poured home 17 points and dished out 14 assists, many of the spectacular variety, as the Warriors won it 85-65 to reach the finals. McQuaid's 19-1 record earned the Knights the #2 seed. Their tournament opener with Edison was no contest. Senior star Greg Woodard poured home 28 points and added 11 rebounds in an 80-54 win. 3 nights later, Brockport tried to slow the game to a crawl and succeeded, holding McQuaid to just 41 points. But that was 12 more than the Blue Devils, and Woodard and company moved to the War Memorial. Then on Wednesday night, Rush Henrietta proved to be a test for one half. But 6'11" center Scott Martzloff took command, and the Knights rolled by 22, setting up tonight's final between McQuaid and Webster.
This is what high school basketball players wait for all their careers. Only a few of them get a chance to play at the War Memorial in the championship game. We're going to bring it to you here tonight. This tournament has been going on for a long time. We're going to welcome Gene Johnson, the chairman of the Section 5 basketball tournament. What is it, 67 years this tournament's been going on now?
This is number 67.
You were just talking about the crowd. Have you seen a crowd here like this?
Well, we've had crowds earlier in some of the tournament games that were probably superior to this, but never on the night we televised.
People tend to take a great event like this for granted, but I've had the privilege of seeing a little bit of the inner workings of this, and you've seen a lot more of that. This is really a lot of work for a lot of people, isn't it?
Well, it's a lot of work, but you have so many people who are involved in it that it doesn't seem like work.
The teams that are here tonight, McQuaid and Webster. McQuaid, we kind of thought was going to be there when this season opened, and Webster, a club that I really think could give them a run for their money tonight.
I think, I've been bragging all year about how good, around the state that I thought McQuaid was going to be until I've seen Webster. And now that I've seen Webster, my feeling is if either of these teams win and represent us in the state, we're going to be pretty well heard from.
Okay. Gene Johnson, thank you. You are the chairman of the Section 5 tournament. How many years now?
Well, I think I've been chairman, this is either the 8th or 9th year, but it's about my 31st year involved with basketball.
Fantastic. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you.
Good working with you again this year. And we will be back to the Rochester War Memorial. Coach Dick O'Toole will join me here in just a moment.
Ford trucks are #1. Here at home, Ford outsells Chevy and Dodge. Because Ford truck value is better than ever.
Ranger and F-Series pickups, America's best built. You get a great deal. Save hundreds more on options.
Then Ford gives you even more cash back. Hundreds more.
You like your trucks tough? Buy a Ford.
You like saving hundreds of dollars? And see a Rochester area Ford County Ford team today.
Pretty good for an old hooper, isn't it? I'm C.J. Ruoff, and I've learned that if you practice enough at anything, you get to be good at it. For instance, look at Ruoff Incorporated. Perhaps if you come along with us, you can do this too.
Nothing's better than a great night's sleep from a Spring Air back supporter mattress, except maybe for a Spring Air mattress sale. Just listen.
Great buys now at Northside Furniture, headquarters for Spring Air. Show any major credit card, even if it's charged to the limit, and get up to $2,000 instant credit. Free same-day delivery. Northside Furniture, 226 North Street.
After all, nothing refreshes like Spring Air. Nothing.
Doug Emblidge and Edison High coach Dick O'Toole back here at the Rochester War Memorial for tonight's game between Webster and McQuaid, the Section 5 AAA championship game. And it should be a real good one. One thing I wanted to mention, Coach, before we went any further tonight, there's a new thing happening in Section 5 this year, a way of honoring student athletes, athletes who excel not only on the basketball court or the football field or wherever, but also in the classroom. And this year, the first annual Harvey Anderson Scholarship was awarded to Corey Mee from Hilton High School and Katie Kleinhans from Brockport, and they received some help toward their college education, and we'd like to recognize Harvey Anderson, former president of Rochester Coca-Cola, for all he's done for Section 5 over the years, and now starting it out with his scholarship. Back to the game of basketball on hand tonight. What does Webster have to do, first of all, to beat McQuaid tonight?
Well, I think they have to stick to the way they've played all year long, and that's been good, tough man-to-man defense. Push the ball up the floor when they have an opportunity to fast break, and then get into their half-court offense if it's not there. I don't believe they want to slow the ball down. That's not their style of play. And if they're going to beat McQuaid, I think they need to go right at them. And they have to score offensively. When they have some good opportunities, they can't come away empty.
Stay with them close, keep the game close, and Webster certainly still in the game. What about McQuaid? They're going to be challenged by certainly by the speed of Chuck Blackman and the whole Webster starting lineup.
Yes, they do. They have to make sure that they get back on defense. If they can control the boards, that will help. But if not, they have to be conscious of that fast break. And, of course, they want to get the ball into Greg Woodard's hands as much as possible. If not, they need to look at their inside game with Marchloff, and that could open up the outside for Woodard.
We have talked a little bit about these teams. Let's do some more. Let's meet the starting five from both Webster and McQuaid.
Top seed Webster lost just once in 23 games this season. The Warriors are quick. They love the break. And each starter has had at least one game of 20 points or better.
Nobody cares who scores. They're also unselfish. Sometimes they're unselfish to a fault. I'd say shoot it this time. That's a wonderful predicament for a coach to have.
Point guard Chuck Blackman may be the best at his position in Section 5. He's a 6'3" senior responsible for pushing the ball up court for the Warriors. He's one of the top scorers and leads in assists.
Senior forward Bill Mason averages 16 points per game. He's 6'3", a good ball handler and passer. He, too, one of the top players in Section 5. The 2 guard is 6'1" senior Rob Wensley. He averages in double figures, but really shines on defense. His coach credits him with turning some games Webster's way with his hustle at the other guy's end. At 6'4", Sean Hickey is Webster's tallest starter. He averages 9 points and 7 rebounds per game. Senior forward Kyle Lidge is strong and aggressive. He's only 6'1", but people swear he's taller. He's that imposing on the court. He averages better than 13 points a game and 8 rebounds. Welcome back to the championship game, McQuaid. The Knights are talented, experienced, and tall. Their record, 22-1, just like Webster, and they've spent the season on top in the area polls.
Most people tend to think of us as a team that is capable of scoring a lot of points, but they oftentimes fail to note that we only give up about 55 points a game. So we play good defense, we work real hard at it, and I think that's what makes for a championship-type season.
6'11" center Scott Martzloff is one of 2 McQuaid players headed for a Division I school next fall. But before he heads to Holy Cross, Martzloff wants to cap his high school career with a second straight AAA title. Senior guard Jay Gangemi broke his hand the day before last year's finals, so getting back to the finals was very important to him. He averages 12 points and 5 assists. John Kelly is the other starting guard for McQuaid. He's 6'2", averages almost 8 points per game, and leads the team in assists. Villanova-bound Greg Woodard has the velvet shooting touch. He is the Knights' top scorer and may be the best player in Section 5. Junior forward Drew Henderson transferred to McQuaid this year. He won a Class C championship at Harley and wants one of the AAA variety now. He's 6'8", and together with Woodard and Martzloff forms the huge front wall of McQuaid. And you have just met the players from both teams, and they have just been introduced to the capacity crowd here at the Community War Memorial. We are set for a great basketball game, and we'll be back right after this.
Ford trucks are #1. Here at home, Ford outsells Chevy and Dodge. Because Ford truck value is better than ever.
Ranger and F-Series pickups, America's best built. You get a great deal. Save hundreds more on options.
Then Ford gives you even more cash back. Hundreds more.
You like your trucks tough? Buy a Ford.
You like saving hundreds of dollars? And see a Rochester area Ford County Ford team.
Today.
He was forced by poverty to leave school at age 14. Yet he grew up to become one of the first industrialists to give generously so others might learn. His name was George Eastman, and he invested millions of dollars in higher education. The company he founded, Eastman Kodak, carries forward his commitment. In recent decades, Kodak contributions add up to more than $100 million to over 1,000 colleges and universities. And Kodak does more, reaching out to support all levels of education, especially in communities where Kodak people live and work. We invest in excellence, excellent students, teachers, opportunities to improve the quality of life. We invest as an active and caring community partner for one special reason, believing, as George Eastman did, that the progress of the world depends almost entirely on education. Kodak, doing more than meets the eye.
And the officials for tonight's game between Webster and McQuaid: Maurice, Rick, Page, and Forrest, Sandy Swingle. And we are underway here at the War Memorial. Webster versus McQuaid. Sit back and enjoy the game. Doug Emblidge along with Dick O'Toole. And we should have a good one. Martzloff will tee it up against Sean Hickey for Webster, and McQuaid wins the tip.
Webster's in their man-to-man defense. They're going to make McQuaid play hard to get whatever they can get off this half-court man.
Webster played a man-to-man most of the year, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, and it's in the championship game. You don't necessarily want to stop what you've been doing all year long.
That's right. There's no reason to change at this point in time. There you can see where the height advantage that McQuaid has could be a factor. Webster had the good position on the boards, but Martzloff just was able to go up over the top without fouling and get the rebound, put the ball in and get fouled.
Scott Martzloff with the rebound and then the shot that goes in and the foul. So it's McQuaid 2-0 here very early on, and Martzloff makes it a three-point play, and it's 3-0 McQuaid. And here is Chuck Blackman, the general for Webster, and he can run, and he will do it tonight.
Okay, now we got McQuaid sitting in a 2-3 zone where they'll bring the wings up as the shooters, Webster shooters go down. Webster has some good outside shooting, so I believe Coach Marchese wants to protect against that by opening up in that zone.
That's Blackman with the drive. He couldn't get it to Kyle Lidge, who was right underneath the basket, and this is John Kelly, the 6'2 senior point guard for the McQuaid Knights. That's Jay Gangemi. He is the shooting guard, and he can put the ball in the net from a long ways away, Coach.
Yes, he can. He's been, I think, a pleasant surprise for McQuaid. He's played very well all year long, and I think he's been a main reason why they've only lost one game all year long.
Webster takes over on the out of bounds by McQuaid. That's Rob Wensley with the ball, the other guard for the Warriors. That's Bill Mason. We talked about him before the game, Coach. He can do some magic with the basketball. That's Blackman. The shot off the rim. And it's out on McQuaid, and Webster will hold on.
He snuck inside that zone, and Mason spotted him, gave him a nice pass. Just the shot didn't go.
Kyle Lidge to Mason at the top of the key. Dribbles once, back to Lidge. No shot there. That's Wensley over to Blackman.
Webster's got him spread a little bit here, trying to open up.
Mason with a jumper, and it doesn't go. A little bit too much iron. That's Greg Woodard, and he hands off to the man who will run the offense for McQuaid. And there is Woodard with his first shot of the night, and it is off the rim, and McQuaid will keep it as it goes off Bill Mason. Talk a little bit about the coaches later. It's interesting. Bill O'Rourke Jr., we did a piece on him just a couple nights ago. Bill O'Rourke Jr. has been coaching Webster for 10 years. His father, Bill O'Rourke Sr., coached for 28 years before him. So a real coaching legacy for the O'Rourkes in Webster.
It certainly is. I don't think I can ever remember an O'Rourke not being a coach or a player.
The alley-oop doesn't work for Webster, and it is still a 3-0 ball game. McQuaid leads it with 5:46 left in this first quarter of play. On the other sideline, Joe Marchese for McQuaid. 2 years coaching there and 2 trips to the finals of the AAA championship. Woodard misses again. That's something that's got to be good news for Webster. He won't be cold all night, but they'll take what they can get because Greg Woodard, one way or another, is going to get points tonight. You can't stop him altogether. You can only hope that you're at least as hot as he is.
Webster needs to get something here just to get their confidence up.
There's Blackman with the outside shot. It doesn't fall. Mason gets the rebound. No shot there. Hickey puts it up, and it's blocked.
That rebound was kept alive by Lidge, allowing Mason to come down and scoop it up for the shot.
There was a foul on the play. Jay Gangemi for McQuaid commits the foul, and Sean Hickey, the 6'4 senior forward for Webster, will go to the line. Down by 3-0, and Webster can get on the board here. Last year, coach in Fairport's game against McQuaid for this championship title. Fairport, I think, was up 12-0 at one point in the game, and didn't matter. McQuaid ended up winning, and that's why they're here defending their championship in AAA.
Those 2 points right there. That should loosen up Webster. Webster a little full court pressure here. And they got the turnover.
There's Mason. He puts up the shot. It doesn't go. There's some hustling underneath for the rebound, and Sean Hickey is called for the foul. McQuaid in the early going, 1 for 6 from the floor. Webster is 0 for 4.
Okay, they're setting up in a 2-2-1 full court press here.
Press worked for them once. They were unable to turn it into any points. John Kelly with the long pass down to Jay Gangemi. He sees the lane, drives, puts up the layup. It doesn't go. John Kelly with the loose ball. Almost has his pocket picked by Rob Wensley for Webster.
That's a great hustle play by John Kelly. He kept that ball alive. They were trying to strip him, and he went up strong, made a nice layup.
And it's a 5-2 ball game. McQuaid leads it. Chuck Blackman handling the ball for Webster. That's Rob Wensley. Turnaround. Doesn't shoot. Passes to Blackman instead. Blackman fakes the shot and passes off to Sean Hickey in the corner. Kyle Lidge comes down with a loose ball. He's going to try going inside. He goes up, and the long arm of Scott Martzloff turns him away. Here's Blackman trying to drive inside again. And Webster fails to score after several opportunities. Here's Greg Woodard with the nice move, the finger roll, and it's good.
Great movement in the open court by Woodard.
Webster coach is now 0 for 7 from the field. They're 2 points on the free throws they just made a few moments ago. They are not, however, electing for the outside shot until right there. They've been trying to drive it inside, as you said they would.
That last shot was forced. They didn't need that.
They come away empty again. This is Jay Gangemi with the jumper that's all net.
Yeah. Bill needs a timeout. He needs that timeout right now.
Webster will have a chat with Bill O'Rourke as they are down by 7 points with 3.5 minutes to go here in the first period. McQuaid with 9 points. Webster 0 for 7 from the free throw line, and we'll be back.
Ford trucks are #1. Here at home, Ford outsells Chevy and Dodge. Because Ford truck value is better than ever.
Ranger and F-Series pickups, America's best built. You get a great deal. Save hundreds more on options.
Then Ford gives you even more cash back. Hundreds more.
You like your trucks tough? Buy a Ford.
You like saving hundreds of dollars? And see a Rochester area Ford County Ford team today.
Boy, could I go for a Wendy's chicken sandwich. What's that special low price? I can almost taste that Wendy's all-white meat chicken filet. All that chicken sitting on that soft, fresh bun. Then the crispy lettuce and my choice of toppings. How much was that?
Wendy's Chicken Sandwich Special, now $1.49.
Just give me a second. I'll remember.
We're back at the War Memorial. McQuaid is up 9-2 here, and Coach Dick O'Toole was saying before the game that Webster couldn't let McQuaid get hot if they were not hot along with him. They've got to stay close in this ball game. And Webster, the disciplined type of ball club, under a good head coach, an experienced coach, not likely to let this early drought affect them for the rest of the night. There's Bill Mason. He puts up the shot, and they are still cold. Drew Henderson with the rebound. Here's Kelly. He's going to push it up to Greg Woodard. Greg Woodard with the finger roll and the foul. Greg Woodard draws the foul as he flies toward the hoop.
Once again, he made a nice move in the open court. He knew he had his man set up. He just took it right to the basket, and he got the foul in the process.
Here it is again, Coach.
Yeah, very nice layup. He used the glass, put the ball up there nice and soft.
And now Woodard's at the line trying to make it a 12-2 ball game, and he does. And Webster has got to make a point from the field. They haven't done it. They are 0 for 9 so far from the floor tonight. Blackman in the corner. Sean Hickey gets it into Bill Mason. Mason hasn't made a shot. Rob Wensley throws it right into the hands of Jay Gangemi. It's back to Kelly. Kelly pushes it up. Waits for the offense to set up. Then he finds Gangemi under the net, and that's good for the layup for two. Jay Gangemi, a 6'2 senior guard for McQuaid.
McQuaid's pushing that ball up, and Webster's just not getting back.
Sean Hickey just put up an air ball.
That was not a good shot. They got to work a little harder. They can get some better shots.
Kelly over to Jay Gangemi. He looks inside to Drew Henderson, the transfer from Harley. He loses it. Bill Mason picks his pocket. Mason brings it up court. Blackman takes over from there. There's Sean Hickey with another jumper, and that one is off the iron. Woodard pushes it up court from McQuaid, falls down, looks for a man to help him out, and gets some from John Kelly. It's going McQuaid's way at the moment.
McQuaid's playing very good basketball. They're running their break. They're controlling the boards.
Webster. That was Woodard again.
Real smooth touch.
Blackman tries to repeat from beyond the three-point line and can't do it. Webster has got to find the net. They have scored 2 points tonight, and we have just a minute and 25 seconds left to go in the first quarter. This is not a typical Webster performance. Is it the nerves, Coach? It's got to affect you somewhat, being in the War Memorial with a full house.
Well, I'm sure the players would probably say no, but if you watch the way Webster's shooting, they're coming up short on a lot of their shots, which means they're not following through. That's a little bit of a sign of nerves.
Martzloff hits the bucket before Bill O'Rourke Jr., the coach of Webster, calls his second timeout of the night as they trail 19-2 with just over a minute to go in the first quarter. A great crowd here tonight. I heard a story about the last time Webster was in the finals, Coach. We're going to look at that play again. Here's Martzloff.
Nice rebound.
With the shot.
Yeah.
All net.
Nice soft touch. You know, that's where that height pays off.
Greg Woodard has 3 defensive rebounds tonight and is shooting 3 for 5. That's the guy, of course, Webster knew he was going to score, but they got to find a way to neutralize him somehow. Webster has not really been pushing the ball up the court like we thought we might see tonight. They haven't been running it as fast as they haven't all season long.
Well, part of that is McQuaid's coming down and they're scoring, which doesn't allow them to get the fast break going. And the other thing is they're coming down and Webster's playing on the perimeter, taking perimeter shots, and they're just getting the one shot. They just don't have the rebounders in there.
I'll get back to that story about the Webster fans in just a moment. Chuck Blackman brings it up for Webster. They trail 19-2 and would like to get a field goal here in the first quarter. And there's Bill Mason with a three-pointer, and that may break the ice. That was Rob Wensley, I apologize. Rob Wensley with a three-pointer for Webster. McQuaid comes right back. Greg Woodard gets his 4th field goal of the game.
See, McQuaid came right back at him. They made a nice play, Webster, but they have to get back defensively.
Kyle Lidge underneath in a crowd, and the big McQuaid front line providing the defense. Kelly brings it up for McQuaid. Finds Woodard. Outside, and that is no good. Mason gets the loose ball. And there's Chuck Blackman trying to push it up a little bit. He will wait for the offense to set up. There are 10 seconds left in the first period. I don't know if Chuck Blackman knows that. Mason out to Wensley. Wensley is going to run out of time. There's 2 seconds. Here's Kyle Lidge. Now, Coach, I don't think they knew the time was running out.
No, I don't think they did either.
The Webster players looking up at the clock right now, and they did not know that the quarter was over. It is 21-5. McQuaid has taken a big lead here very early on, and the Webster Warriors have some analyzing to do, some thinking to do, and we will be back at the sold-out War Memorial right after this.
Ford trucks are #1. Here at home, Ford outsells Chevy and Dodge. Because Ford truck value is better than ever.
Ranger and F-Series pickups, America's best built. You get a great deal. Save hundreds more on options.
Then Ford gives you even more cash back. Hundreds more.
You like your trucks tough? Buy a Ford.
You like saving hundreds of dollars? And see a Rochester area Ford County Ford team today.
In business, changes are just a fact of life. For example, you can type something perfectly, and then new information comes in.
Okay, that's perfect, but would you change the opening?
Maybe that's why secretaries prefer Xerox typewriters.
Oh, and add that column.
They make revisions easy. In tests, 8 out of 10 people preferred a Xerox typewriter to other leading models, even an IBM.
And that's it, okay?
No problem.
Xerox, the perfect typewriter for the way business really is.
We're back at the War Memorial. McQuaid leads at 21-5. It's possible to overanalyze the first quarter. All you have to do is say Webster had just 1 field goal. This one, a 3-pointer from Rob Wensley. And Webster has the ball, trying to up their point total to 7. Bill Mason drives, and he is hacked going in. The ball falls.
I don't know if they're going to count the basket or not. It's one of those hairline calls, whether or not he was in the act of shooting or he got fouled before he put the ball up.
No basket, Coach. Bill Mason will go to the free throw line.
Second team foul.
Out of bounds. It wasn't in the act of shooting.
There's Mason with it again underneath, and he
got fouled underneath.
Fouled.
Good hustle by Mason.
Just cold, though, Coach. They just haven't, other than that three-pointer in the first quarter, they have not put the ball in the hoop, and against McQuaid, against anybody, that's going to cause you a lot of trouble. Here's Bill Mason and Chuck Blackman, who has yet to make a shot tonight. There's the three-pointer from Rob Wensley. He has all of Webster's points from the field.
Well, they need somebody to ignite him, and if Wensley's the man, then he's going to have to do it.
21, now 23-8 after Jay Gangemi puts it in for McQuaid. There's Blackman driving. He's going to go all the way and get blocked by Scott Martzloff. Webster will take it underneath their own basket from out of bounds. Doug Emblidge along with Dick O'Toole here for the Section 5 AAA championship game. We hope you're enjoying it so far. A couple of good teams. Webster has just got to find out how to put it in the hoop. Sean Hickey lofts up a makeshift jumper, a makeshift hook shot. There's Blackman, another shot that was probably ill-advised. Kyle Lidge is there.
That was good hustle by Lidge. His shot was blocked. He stayed on the ball. He got the rebound back and put the ball back up. Good hustle play.
Greg Woodard into the backcourt to John Kelly, who will bring it up. McQuaid doing everything right so far tonight. There's Jay Gangemi, and he walked with the ball.
Webster needs to score this trip down now. They need to start getting some points on the board, and they got to tighten up at the other end.
They haven't, and we mentioned it before. They have not been pushing the ball up the court. They have not been using the speed that they are known for. And they lose it out of bounds.
Not a good place to take the ball down at that baseline with that big front line of McQuaid. They put that trap down, and it's kind of hard to get the ball out. There's a rare turnover by Greg Woodard.
His receiver didn't make his cut. It is 23-10 with 6 minutes left here in the second period. And Webster trying to get back into this game before halftime. And there's Sean Hickey with the jumper, and that is short.
You can see on that jump shot how he didn't follow through. He pulled the trigger a little bit, and they came up short.
Greg Woodard with a pass to Jay Gangemi, and Gangemi with the turnaround that is good off the glass. Sean Hickey, one of the big forwards, the biggest man on the starting lineup for Webster, is 0 for 5 from the floor tonight. But he's not the only one having trouble. There's Kyle Lidge, and Kyle Lidge is rejected by Drew Henderson. That big front wall of McQuaid, Martzloff at 6'11". Drew Henderson, the transfer from Harley, is 6'8". Scott Martzloff, Greg Woodard rather, 6'6". They are big. Maybe the biggest Section 5 has ever had. Even the guards are tall. 6'2" for Kelly and 6'2" for Jay Gangemi. There's the Webster shot that goes off the glass. Here's Hickey underneath. His shot doesn't go. And Woodard with the rebound.
Had some good chances there, Webster. They got to get back now on defense. They don't want to get beaten in transition. Give up an easy basket.
There's Woodard, thinks about the shot and drives instead. And he has it knocked away. Here's
nice
Chuck Blackman on the break.
Good pass by Wensley.
That goes. Once Webster starts to run, they are a good bet to convert at the other end of the court, especially Chuck Blackman. He's very quick and used to that kind of play. McQuaid, on the other hand, here, it rolls off the rim. And here's Blackman running again. He's going to pass to Hickey.
Need a timeout.
And
McQuaid
Hickey
needs
scores.
a timeout. That's a nice little run by Webster there. That could get him back in the ball game.
And really, Coach, a good timeout by Joe Marchese. He's up by 11, but he saw the tempo of the game turning a little bit and immediately slowed it down by calling a timeout with 4.5 minutes left in the half. Jay Gangemi, by the way, has 8 points for the Knights tonight. Here's that fast break that Blackman dished off to Sean Hickey, and that brought Webster within 11 points.
That's the way we're doing much better. Keep moving that ball. Play it off of Billy in the middle. We'll get shots, we'll get second. Don't worry if they block your shot. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Every time you block, it's coming right back to you. That's right.
You heard Bill O'Rourke in the huddle there, Coach.
I was having a tough time picking him up with this crowd noise. I'm sure he's telling his players, just keep playing hard. They're getting some good shots offensively. They're just not falling. He's hoping they will. But I think he needs to have his team get back defensively. They're getting beat in transition.
And
there's the turnover off the press.
That's Blackman's shot, and that's good. And we have a 9-point ball game.
He's got the 2-2-1 press. There's another turnover. McQuaid made a substitution. They have Reggie Wade in for Jake and Jemmy.
Whatever spot. The press works for Webster 2 times in a row after that timeout by McQuaid coach Joe Marchese. And Webster will keep it there as McQuaid tips it last before it goes out of bounds. Webster 3 for 3 in its last 3 shots after starting out 0 for 8 from the floor.
Well, they have to get
Kyle Lynch. Looks like the shot. It doesn't take it. It finds Bill Mason. Nice feed inside.
Good play all around. Lynch with a great pass and Mason with a good strong move inside.
And it's a 25-18 game. Webster is back in it. And McQuaid affected somewhat by the press called by Coach Bill O'Rourke in the last timeout. Into the game for McQuaid is number 20, Reggie Wade, a 6'6" senior forward, and number 30, Drew Henderson, of course, part of the starting lineup.
Nice pass by Mason. Hickey stepped into the opening in the gap, and he picked. Good defense, good hustle by Mason. That's the type of play that could inspire Webster to get him back in this ball game.
Of course, they had to get the offense going to turn the game around, but to catch up, you got to play defense as well, and Webster has been doing it perfectly in the last few minutes. Here's Martzloff. He won't dribble for long.
No, they want to get the ball into Kelly's hand. He's their floor leader out there. He's the guy that's going to run the offense for them.
We said Reggie Wade, who has the ball now for McQuaid, was 6'6". He is 6 foot. Another steal by Webster. And a foul as Reggie Wade tries to go inside and prevent the break. And Webster is suddenly down by 7. There's just 3 minutes to go in the half.
They're getting down after a little bit more in that defensive end, Webster is.
Reggie Wade came in for Jay Gangemi, who's getting a breather on the bench. Chance to talk to Coach Marchese. There's Rob Wensley with the 3-pointer.
He had the open spot. He spotted up on the left side. They swung the ball from the weak to the weak side, and he was open, and he hit it.
There's Martzloff from the baseline. It doesn't go, and Webster can cut the lead to either 2 or 1 if they elect a 3-pointer. Blackman's going to take it all the way.
He tried to go coast to coast, but I think he should have pulled it up and got it out because he was cut off at the basket.
And then commits the foul on Greg Woodard.
That's probably more of a frustration foul down at there.
Maybe Blackman sensed he could bring Webster back into this ball game. They're back into it within a couple points, within a point.
Well, he's their creator.
Tried a little too much.
He's done it all year. He's gone coast to coast many times, and I'm sure that's what he felt he had to do then.
Reggie Wade for the outside. It doesn't go. Kyle Lidge had his hands on it.
It's still Webster ball. I think Woodard knocked it out of his hand. Good call by the officials.
Webster's getting it inside this quarter, Coach. They had 13 shots in the paint so far this game and 11 in this quarter.
Well, that's where you make your money if you can get that ball in the paint. Nice move by Wensley. Didn't go, but he made a real nice move.
Just under 2 minutes to go here in the first half between Webster and McQuaid, the Section 5 AAA championship. Another McQuaid miss. Drew Henderson is there underneath, and then Martzloff.
They had the inside position, McQuaid, and it was going to be tough to get that rebound. And they just played a little volleyball amongst themselves until it finally went in.
Yeah, Drew Henderson was the one credited with the tip in there, and it's a 29-23 game. Rob Wensley, as Webster tries to work it inside and does to Bill Mason. Mason with a nice play.
Real nice move. Strong drive to the basket. That's his game. That's Mason's game.
The press almost works again for Webster. Woodard, though, brings it up court. He's going to go all the way, but his shot doesn't go, and Martzloff did some skywalking but couldn't put it in. Mason with the behind-the-back dribble gets it over to Blackman. Chuck Blackman out to Wensley, the three-pointer, no good. But Webster comes down with a loose ball. Here's Blackman again. He lofts up a shot, doesn't go. Wensley with a shot, doesn't go, and McQuaid finally gets the rebound there. John Kelly pushes it up for McQuaid. Into the corner to Wade, back to Martzloff, who stops, shoots, and it's all iron.
Not a good shot for Scott. I think he needs to get in. There's the transition for Webster. Nice play. Good hustle by Henderson. Even though he fouled him, he got back. He prevented what could have been an easy two.
You know, on that last basket by Bill Mason a couple trips ago down the court, he knew he had to contend with the trees in there, the big guys. And he learned how to do it, how to work around them. And here's the last play. That's the block by Henderson, but he's called for the foul. And number 34, Sean Hickey.
It's a good hustle play both ways.
Sean Hickey at the line for Webster. He can cut the lead to 2, but he misses the first of the 1-and-1.
He's having that same trouble with his jump shot. He's coming up short. He's not following through.
It is 29-25. McQuaid, after leading very big early, 19-2 at one point tonight.
Good hustle. The little man, Wensley, gets in, gets back. Got the roll. Shooter's touch.
Sean Hickey. Bill Woodard Jr. has got to be happy. He has certainly won the second quarter here tonight. There's the foul. No, it's a traveling violation against John Kelly, and Webster can tie the game with 22 seconds left in the half.
I think Coach O'Rourke's going to want to hold for one shot. He can go in either 2 down, or he can be tied, or he can be 1 up, and it'll be a big boost for his ball club.
No matter how he goes in after that first quarter where Webster had just 1 field goal, a 3-pointer, they have got to be feeling good. They have proven they can play with the big McQuaid Knights. Here's Bill Mason with the scoop pass. The shot doesn't go, and we have a 29-27 ball game. 29-27, McQuaid leads Webster. Coach, what a comeback by Webster. We're going to get Bill O'Rourke's thoughts on that. Let's go over to Mike Catalana, who is with Coach Bill O'Rourke on the sideline.
Okay, Coach, at 19-2 with a minute to go in the first quarter, what do you tell your kids?
I asked them for the greatest comeback these people have ever seen, and I think they gave it to them.
Obviously, you went to the full court pressure. It's really what you started with to pick up the tempo,
yes.
And it seems to have worked.
Well, that's what we were trying to do from the very beginning, but we didn't make any buckets so we could set up our press. But then we started to hit, and things have gone pretty well, but it'll be a tough second half.
I think the kids were a little nervous in the beginning, may have lowered the shooting percentage a bit.
They're not nervous. They've been here before, and these things happen. Hopefully it won't continue to happen.
Okay, good luck in the second half. If we have a second half, anything like the first, Doug, I don't know if many people here are going to be able to take it. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. We do have a great ball game and a full house here at the War Memorial. You know, Bill O'Rourke, you couldn't ask for a nicer guy, a more mild-mannered guy, but he gets in the huddle, and maybe a guy like that, when he suddenly becomes intense, very intense, is really the most effective coach in hyping his team up.
I'm sure, you know, his players really respect him. I have the utmost respect for him. You know, he's one of the finest coach and gentlemen in Section 5 basketball, and I'm sure his players respond to him, you know, as that type of person. I don't know if he gets excited enough to raise his voice.
It is 29-27, and everybody here is excited as Webster has come back and made a great ball game out of this. Doug Emblidge and Dick O'Toole, and we'll be back to the War Memorial right after this.
Ford trucks are #1. Here at home, Ford outsells Chevy and Dodge. Because Ford truck value is better than ever.
Ranger and F-Series pickups, America's best built. You get a great deal. Save hundreds more on options.
Then Ford gives you even more cash back. Hundreds more.
You like your trucks tough? Buy a Ford.
You like saving hundreds of dollars? And see a Rochester area four-county Ford team
today.
Pretty good for an old hooper, isn't it? I'm C.J. Ruoff, and I've learned that if you practice enough at anything, you get to be good at it. For instance, look at Ruoff Incorporated. Perhaps if you come along with us, you can do this too.
Nothing's better than a great night's sleep from a Spring Air back supporter mattress, except maybe for a Spring Air mattress sale. Just listen.
Great buys now at Northside Furniture, headquarters for Spring Air. Show any major credit card, even if it's charged to the limit, and get up to $2,000 instant credit. Free same-day delivery. Northside Furniture, 226 North Street.
After all, nothing refreshes like Spring Air. Nothing.
Randy Murphy, part of the Volunteer Connection.
This portion of tonight's game has been brought to you by your Rochester area four-county Ford team. Quality people, quality products.
And we have witnessed an amazing quarter of basketball here at the War Memorial. Webster down big after making just 1 point from the floor in the first quarter, coming back to make it a 29-27 ball game at halftime. You know, every year the Burkett Mills down in Penn Yan puts on a great Coach of the Year luncheon out at Locust Hill. We were there this year to meet with the Coaches of the Year from Section 5. We are here with the Section 5 Coaches of the Year for the second year in a row. The Burkett Mills from down in Penn Yan has been involved in getting these coaches honored, and Wayne Wagner is the president of Burkett Mills, and he joins us here today. A lot of things came up, a theme seemed to recur today, and that families were thanked a lot when these coaches made their acceptance speeches. Coaching really is a sacrifice not only for the man who does it, but for the people who love them too, isn't it?
Well, I think that's an area that a lot of people forget about. They look at the players out there, and they look at the talent, and they look at the way it's developed. They forget about the wives and the children many times that spend a lot of nights without their fathers or without the head of the household home, and it's very difficult for them from year to year.
They also spend a lot of nights at basketball games.
Oh, they certainly do. I know some coaches' wives that get very involved, the young people too. The Coaches of the Year, I feel, are a very, very dedicated bunch of individuals. These are men that really put many, many things above themselves, including in some instances their family, and the families make a real sacrifice for this.
Let's meet the Coaches of the Year. Wayne and I are going to step back, and he can talk about the Coaches of the Year from all 6 Section 5 classes. First of all, Class D, Wayne.
Okay, this year's winner in Class D is Jim Burke. This happens to be the second year in a row that Jim was honored as Coach of the Year.
Okay, we move on to Class C and Coach Marv Skillman from Avoca.
Yes, Marv Skillman is the winner this year in Class C. This is Marv's first award as Coach of the Year, and it's truly deserving. He's a dedicated individual and does a lot of things for the Avoca Central School System.
And he's been coaching for a lot of years, and we move on to a man from Geneseo.
Yes, Don Belair. He is also a first-year recipient of the Coach of the Year award. He's Geneseo, a well-deserved award, and an area that I think is coming on in basketball prowess, and I know Don is very pleased to be a recipient of the award this year.
A repeat winner, Tom Downey from Livonia.
Tom is certainly no stranger to this award, Coach of the Year. I believe this is the 4th time that Tom has won it. He's also won it in 2 different schools, Dansville and Livonia. And he is truly one of the outstanding coaches in Section 5.
Class AA, the winner?
This year's winner is Dick Hefferon, and he is the coach at Pittsford Mendon. I think Dick is a repeat winner also, and I know he's probably pleased and proud to accept the award on behalf of his school system and his players.
Always the coaches mention the players as the true helpers in them getting this award. We move on to Class AAA, and from a coaching legacy out in Webster, Bill O'Rourke Jr.
Yes, I had the pleasure of meeting Bill earlier this afternoon. It was my first time, and one of the girls in our office mentioned to me there was a very nice article in the paper about Bill and his dad, and Bill is the winner of the Coach of the Year in AAA at Webster this year. I believe it's his first time, and I doubt that it'll be his last time.
Okay, there you have them, the Section 5 Coaches of the Year from the Burkett Mills.
Tonight would not be complete without a tribute to the athletes who are on the sidelines during the basketball games all winter long, and of course the football games in the fall. We're talking, of course, about the cheerleaders from Section 5, and with me are the coordinators, the co-coordinators of Section 5 cheerleading, Sharon Cox and Carol Olbeck, and the winner of this year's, the coach of this year's winners from AAA, Terry Battaglia from Fairport. Sharon, cheerleading is a bigger deal and getting bigger every year. These girls are athletes, they do work hard, and it all ends with a tournament at the end of the year, doesn't it?
Definitely, Doug. This tournament is really a season-long tournament. It starts at the beginning of basketball season. Cheerleading coaches evaluate the opposing squads at each basketball game. At the end of the season, these scores are tallied, and the top teams in each league go on to the cheer-off. At the cheer-off, the scores are, they perform 3 cheers, and then the scores are tallied there, and they take 30% of the season-long score, 70% of the cheer-off score, and add those together. And from those scores, we determine the top 5 winners in each classification.
And there are classifications just like for basketball.
We follow the same classifications.
The winner this year in AAA, as we said, was Fairport. And here's Carol Olbeck to talk a little bit with the coach of the Red Raiders cheerleading.
Thanks, Doug. This year I am proud to present the AAA Cheerleading Championship to Terry and the Fairport cheerleaders. This is their first year winning the championship. This is Terry's 6th year coaching. I want to ask Terry, what does it feel like for Fairport to win the cheerleading championship?
Well, it's a great feeling, not only for myself and these girls, but I would say for the whole community. We've had a lot of support this season, and the girls have been together in the youth league, and not only for myself as their coach, but for the Vince Lombardi, Pop Warner coaches, their freshman JV coach. It's just a great feeling. And I'd like to thank Dave Martins, our athletic director, for his support this season, and my husband, Chris, for allowing me to put all the time into this.
Okay, let's step back. We're going to watch the Fairport Red Raider cheerleaders go to work. We'll walk off here and let them take the floor. Results of the Section 5 cheerleading tournament from this year. Fairport, you just saw them perform. They're the winners in AAA. Then Geneva, a repeat winner in AA. Wayland has won 7 years in a row in Class A. Dundee in Class B, the champions. Honeoye in Class C, and Prattsburg in Class D. Congratulations, and we'll be back with more halftime after this.
Buy one at your Rochester Suzuki dealer.
It is a 29-27 ball game. It looked like it would be a McQuaid blowout, but it is anything but. We got a great second half of basketball coming up here in just a minute. You know, there have been 5 of the 6 class championships decided already, and in 4 of those 5 games, the top seed won. Here is Mike Catalana with the highlights of those games.
Last night at the War Memorial, Game 1, the Class A final between Livonia and Pembroke. And it was no contest. The Bulldogs, Adrian Myers, tough as always. Pembroke tried to stay in it. David Kennedy with the jumper here. But Myers was too tough. Again inside, he had 22 points. And in this one, he got some help. Steve Surtse here drives for 2 of his 17. Livonia, the Class A champs. Myers, the star.
When they cut down on me, it left the other guys open. So after they started hitting, they had to come out and start playing this man. So that helped my game too.
We had things in perspective. We took one game at a time. That was our goal, yes, to repeat as Section 5 champions. You know, we're very impressed and we're very pleased what will happen this year, but we're also relieved.
In the nightcap, the Double-A title game, Hornell and Monroe will take you to the final minutes. Hornell's Steve Andrews to Mike Coleman for 2 of his 22. Hornell by 2, but Monroe would come back in this one. Sean Johnson with the baseline jumper to tie the game at 62 with 1 minute left. But with 30 seconds to go, Kevin Farrell got open inside for the easy layup, the game-winning basket, and Hornell held on for the 2-point win.
I can't explain the feeling. I mean, it's my high, my life. I've always wanted to play here, and I got my chance, and we made the most of it.
I knew that the kids had the potential to, if they really pushed themselves, to come to this level of basketball, and they did.
Today's Game 1 had all of the look of a Mount Morris runaway. Early, Vince Faso and company took a 14-2 lead, and were still up 7 at half. But Avoca kept their composure, and when Robbie Patrick hit this shot in the 4th quarter, Avoca had taken a 49-48 lead. Avoca then put it away on the foul line where they outscored Mount Morris 22-4. Tournament MVP Jesse Smith said tempo was the key.
They're known as a fast-breaking team, and we were known as one too, but that's kind of startled me that they would slow it down because they're pretty good when they're fast.
We asked them just to hang tough because we knew we could play a lot better basketball than that and use some fortitude, and they sure did.
The pace in Game 2 was much different. Clyde against Lions, a couple of teams that love to run and gun. Clyde went to the boards in the first half. Robbie Smith's 3rd try was good. He had 17. For Lions, Dean's shot kept them within 7 at half with the 3-pointer. But the second half and the Class B title belonged to Clyde Savannah. MVP Richie Pullen led the way with 24 points.
We play these guys day in and day out. I mean, it's just like, you know, we go down the street and we play with these guys. We play them all the time, and 3 times in one season is really tough.
It's a great thing. It's like that sweet frosting on the cake, that's for sure. And I'm on cloud 9 right now. We're really excited.
Mike Catalana, NewsCenter 13 Sports.
Well, congratulations to all the champions and, of course, the runners-up and all the teams that took part in this tournament this year. The president of Section 5 is Judy Knight, another Edison Tech person, and we are glad to have you here, Judy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to be here.
Quite a tournament so far, and quite a crowd here for the AAA.
Yes, this is great. I'm looking around, and it looks almost full.
Talked to Gene Johnson earlier about all the work that goes into a tournament like this. There's so many people you'd like to thank, so many people you'd like to recognize. It really is a team effort.
Yes, it is. So many people work on this. They give many, many hours behind the scenes, setting everything up so it's a class tournament.
We appreciate all the hard work you do, and I'm sure all the coaches do and the players as well. We'd like to remember, if we could, here at halftime, a man who gave a lot of years to Section 5, Tom Emanuel, who passed away this past year, along with his wife Ann, who also passed away. They did a lot for Section 5, didn't they?
It was a very significant loss. Tom has been with Board 60 for many years and was a good friend to Section 5 and basketball. we can have someone fill his position, but no one will ever take his place. It was just a gentleman that we'll always remember.
Judy, thanks for joining us here at halftime, and enjoy the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Judy Knight, the president of Section 5, and we'll be back with that second half right after this.
Remember that famous saying, "It ain't over till the fat lady sings"? Well, it's clearance time at your Suzuki dealer. Time to clear out one of America's least expensive 4x4s. Time to get the deal you want for the Suzuki you want. But time's running out, 'cause you know who is warming up. Buy one at your Rochester Suzuki dealer.
It's Hill TV's 1988 Zenith closeout sale. We've purchased a huge shipment of Zenith products at specially reduced prices, and we're passing the savings on to you. Zenith VCRs and camcorders, Zenith portables, and hard-to-find consoles and big-screen TVs. The savings are outstanding, and remember, all Zenith VCRs and color TVs are backed by our famous 5-year worry-free warranty. Hill TV's Zenith closeout sale, going on now at all 3 locations.
Nothing's better than a great night's sleep from a Spring Air back supporter mattress, except maybe for a Spring Air mattress sale. Just listen.
Great buys now at Northside Furniture, headquarters for Spring Air. Show any major credit card, even if it's charged to the limit, and get up to $2,000 instant credit. Free same-day delivery. Northside Furniture, 226 North Street.
After all, nothing refreshes like Spring Air. Nothing.
Doug Emblidge and Dick O'Toole back here at the Rochester War Memorial. Let's quick look at some highlights from the first half, Coach. It was all McQuaid early on. McQuaid couldn't miss his shot early, and, well, really it was a story of Webster being cold. Here's Scott Martzloff working it inside.
Martzloff worked his way down low, and with that height advantage, he was able to go over the shorter man without fouling and get the rebound and put it back up, and he got fouled.
And after Webster started 1 and 14 from the floor, they finished 10 for 21. Rob Wensley with some three-pointers to get him back in it. And this is Bill Mason inside, and he really helped spark the Webster comeback, rather, along with some good defense. And we are getting set for a great second half of basketball. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
Buy one at your Rochester Suzuki dealer.
You're working and playing and building a dream. We're working and saying we're part of your team.
Tops never stops, saving you more. Tops never stops, look what's in store.
You'll find that we're friendly, you'll see that we serve. We make it exciting, that's what you deserve.
Tops never stops, bringing freshness to you. Tops never stops, 'cause neither do you.
You're working and playing and building a dream. We're working and saying we're part of your team.
Tops never stops,
make us your store.
Tops never stops, saving you more. Tops never stops.
Of tonight's game is brought to you by your local Rochester Suzuki dealer.
Doug Emblidge and Dick O'Toole back here at the War Memorial. Action has just resumed. No score yet in the second half. 29-27. McQuaid leads it. Webster outscored McQuaid 21-6 in the last 7 minutes of the first half, and we have ourselves a ball game. Coach McQuaid with the ball right now, and there's Drew Henderson with a shot that doesn't go in.
That's not a bad shot. Good. He was down low on the baseline, just didn't fall for him. Mason takes it right to him. Good body control by Mason. He avoided the charge and he got the block. Martzloff moved into him a little bit. Mason, being a good ball player he is, was able to put the ball up on the glass.
Bill Mason has found the key to working his way through that front line. Watch him do it
There
here,
he goes.
Coach,
Yeah,
with the scoop.
You got Martzloff to move, which caused the block.
And Webster looks to go ahead on this Bill Mason free throw, and they do. Webster leads this ball game for the first time tonight. It is 30-29, and they keep the press on the Knights.
Well, the press was good to them in that second quarter. There's no reason to go away from it. They might as well start with it. They didn't use it in the beginning of the game, and they got behind.
Scott Martzloff is fouled as he tries to end that break by Greg Woodard. Scott Martzloff going to the line for McQuaid. The big 6'11" center, here he is. He's fouled by Sean Hickey and makes the first in the game is time.
Real nice touch.
Especially for a big man. He is 6'11".
Yes, he is.
Senior center. Down for Holy Cross. He misses the second shot, and Webster brings it back. Chuck Blackman, the point guard. Over to Rob Wensley. Wensley looks for Kyle Lidge in the corner, then goes underneath to Sean Hickey, and Hickey's shot is up.
That was a real nice pass. Hickey moved in from the weak side. He slipped underneath on the baseline. Wensley saw him, made the nice pass, and they converted.
I just get the feeling we have a great second half going. There was some nerves early on that this ball game would be a blowout. There's Woodard's shot, and that's good. That's a three-pointer. McQuaid's back up here, 33-32.
You got to stay up on Woodard when the ball's on his side.
There's Mason again with a nice dish pass underneath. The shot doesn't go, and McQuaid gets the rebound. Here's Martzloff, and they get it back to Kelly, who sends it into the corner for Woodard, who shoots, and it goes off the iron. And the Webster, Bill Mason is fouled by Jay Gangemi as they both go for the rebound.
You won't see Woodard miss too many of those shots.
That's the second foul on Jay Gangemi. Nobody really in foul trouble here yet, Coach.
No, both teams have playing some pretty good defense.
There's Bill Mason again. He's going to look to shoot. When it's blocked, he finds Sean Hickey. And McQuaid with some defense.
Good
but
hustle.
Webster gets it back. Here's Kyle Lidge. Watch him go.
He got fouled.
He was fouled by Drew Henderson.
That's good defense by Mason and Blackman down there on Kelly. Kelly was really at a disadvantage. There wasn't much he could do against those two.
It is 33-32 with 5:52 left in the third period. Here it is again.
Good hustle by both Mason and Blackman. Lidge came down when he saw they had the ball. Went right to the basket.
And he misses the first of his two shots. Webster has worked it inside for 5 shots in the paint already this quarter, Coach, as Kyle Lidge ties the game at 33. And they keep the press on.
They're going to make McQuaid work the entire floor getting up. They're not going to let him walk it up.
Gangemi with the cross court to Martzloff, who converts, and he is fouled.
Good job by McQuaid. They brought the ball up. They spotted Martzloff. They cross court pass. He was open. He went up strong and got fouled. They beat the rotation.
Well, they've been here before.
So, you know, it's not an easy thing to do, especially with graduation and everything. A lot of times when players graduate, their team's not as good the next year. So I think it's definitely tough, and if we can do it, it'll be a great accomplishment.
Off the miss by Scott Martzloff. Some fighting for the rebound, and there's another foul call. And
there's where that size come in for McQuaid. Of course, on the miss, you had Woodard tipping the ball, kept the ball alive. Martzloff came down in and was able to get the rebound and got fouled.
And Scott Martzloff goes to the line again. McQuaid.
Real nice. There's that sweet sound of that string music.
McQuaid now up 36-33. And Martzloff looks for the other one. It's not as pretty, but it goes in, and
shooters roll.
Webster is moving the ball up. Chuck Blackman lets things set up a bit. There's Wensley, finds Bill Mason inside, but he was in a crowd. And there's Kyle Lidge on the baseline. And he, too, is in a crowd as McQuaid tries to surround the ball. But they commit the foul, and...
it was good defense, though, by McQuaid. They were hustling, they were tramping down in there. You know, it's a hustle foul. You can't get upset by one of those. Webster ball. Mason's open. They found him. Nice spot for him. He can hit that jumper.
It's 37-35. Jay Gangemi with the ball from McQuaid. Here's Greg Woodard. He's going to go all the way, and he is called for the charge.
Good defense by Webster. They got back this time off the weak side, and they were there waiting.
That is Greg Woodard's second foul. Mason, by the way, we talked about Bill Mason, what a spark he's been for the Warriors. He's 4 for 4 in his last 4 attempts at putting the ball in.
They need him to be playing well if they're going to win this ball game.
Blackman traveled along the baseline, and McQuaid gets the ball back. What a couple of great basketball traditions we have going here. Of course, McQuaid, the defending champs. Webster, under Bill O'Rourke when they were at R.L. Thomas before the consolidation, won it here in 1983. They both coaches have been here, and the players from McQuaid have been here, and they come from some schools who have played good basketball over the years. That pass was just out of the reach of Reggie Wade, the 6-foot senior forward, and Webster ends up coming down with it after Wade made the save, but Webster has possession. It's 37-35, McQuaid up by a couple. Here's Kyle Lidge driving, he takes the shot, it's off the rim. Fight for the ball on the floor, and it will go over to Webster. Webster holds on to the ball. A lot of hustling, Coach. Both teams know that's how this game is going to be won.
Yeah, Webster knows that if they keep hustling, they got a chance to be right in this ball game.
Mason drives. He is fouled by Kelly as he sailed into the lane.
Mason saw the opening in the zone, and he took it to him, and Kelly reached in and grabbed him.
That is John Kelly's second foul of the night. Bill Mason knows Webster has had quite a season, and he's loving it still.
It's been a good season for us. We didn't start off as strong as we would like, but then after we lost to Roundaquay, we started playing better. We won our last 19 games. It's been a lot of fun, too.
Sure has, and Bill Mason ties the ball game at 37. There's John Kelly over to backcourt mate Jay Gangemi, who misses the shot. Woodard with the rebound. His shot doesn't go, and there's Scott Martzloff to start things over again for McQuaid. Kelly to Wade, who drives, and he is called for the charge.
Should have pulled up. The man was in front of him. He should have pulled up and taken that little baby jump shot.
Joe Marchese did not like the call. Here's Chuck Blackman. The score now has been tied 5 times after a 19-2 beginning with McQuaid, the early lead. There's the block by Martzloff, but Webster gets it back. Wensley drives, stops and shoots, and it's an air ball, but Lidge is there for the rebound, and his shot doesn't go, and there's 6'11" Scott Martzloff.
2 big plays by Scott that last set. He blocked Mason's shot first, and then he turns around and blocks Lidge's inside.
And Greg Woodard draws the foul from Kyle Lidge. Kyle Lidge not having the kind of game he's used to tonight.
You need to get down the floor quickly against McQuaid because Woodard runs the floor so well that he's down there, and of course McQuaid's always going to be looking to get the ball in his hands.
The big 6'11" center for McQuaid, Scott Martzloff, has 6 blocks on the night. as McQuaid looks to break the tie again with 3.5 minutes left in the third period. We have a good ball game here, McQuaid and Webster for the AAA championship. McQuaid, the defending champs. And that shot by Gangemi doesn't go. There's a scramble on the floor for it, and we're going to have a jump ball. It'll go over to McQuaid. On the alternating possession. Drew Henderson is the starter for McQuaid, who's out of the lineup. Other than that, it is all starters in there right now for both teams. And there's the strong move by Scott Martzloff. He sends that one home with some authority.
He did.
We haven't seen the dunks tonight. We haven't seen the showtime much, Coach, except a little bit from Bill Mason, and there's one of his jumpers.
Well, you see that a lot on the end of a fast break, and neither team has really been able to use the fast break tonight.
I said Webster had all their starters in. I stand corrected. Mike Kulik, the 6'5" junior forward, is in for Webster, number 32. Sean Hickey taking a breather. Bill Mason has 9 points, and he's put in 5 of his last 6. Which doesn't make sense.
Number 21, Jay Gangemi at the line, shooting 1 and 1.
Mason has a lot more than 9 as Jay Gangemi puts it in. Our statisticians are going to work on that one. Greg Woodard 1 for 4 this year. And the miss, and it's a 40-39 ball game. McQuaid is up. Mason has 13 points. Not 9 and 5 for his last 6.
Nice drive by Blackman. Protected the ball. He saw the big man inside. Shot that little running one-hander off the glass, nice and soft.
Kind of the Sherman Douglas look.
Yep.
And there's the travel called on McQuaid. I say the Sherman Douglas look, it's a compliment. It looks out of control, but as long as you make it go in, the coach isn't going to yell at you.
That's just true. Blackman's made that shot many times.
Almost picked the pocket there of Blackman, nice. But he finds Kyle Lidge, who sends it home.
There's the penetration, forces the defense to pick him up, and he can make the easy dump down inside. We're sticking with that press.
It's worked for him so far. Reggie Wade trying to dribble out of a crowd. He finds Jay Gangemi, the jumper, no good, and McQuaid has gone a bit cold.
Yes, they have, and that's a shot that Gangemi's been making most of the season.
Blackman tries to drive again, stops, throws up another one. That time it didn't go in.
Good hustle.
But Rob Wensley puts in the no-archer, and McQuaid.
That ball didn't have a chance.
Still Webster's ball. Blackman to Bill Mason. It's
nice
good!
Joe needs a TO here. He needs a TO.
And he takes it. Joe Marchese calls a timeout. Down by 5, 45-40, with 1 minute, 11 seconds to go in the third period. After a great start by a very strong McQuaid team, Webster has proven what they're made of, and we have ourselves a great championship game going here. Let's go into the huddle of Bill O'Rourke.
Don't give him second shots. On the press, yeah, he's killing it. Get a body on him. Get a body on him. He's doing very well. Very well. On the press, it's back. When they get it to the top of the circle, then we put the pressure on. Let's go. Rotate down. Fly back. We're not getting back fast enough against the press. Let's go.
Bill O'Rourke Jr. telling his team that they're doing well, but he wants them to get back down court a little faster when McQuaid has the ball. Here's that shot by Bill Mason, all net.
Blackman had the ball inside.
45-40 game. Webster enjoying the lead now. Greg Woodard finds John Kelly. McQuaid really has to find its composure. They are great ball players, and they are certainly capable of beating just about anybody.
Well, this game's far from over.
And there's a stop and play with a foul called. Our attendance here tonight, Coach, 6,244. The blue and gold of Webster, the black and gold of McQuaid, and some of the finer fans are here getting a little laryngitis for the ride home. What a fun night of basketball this is, year after year. There's Martzloff with a rebound off the missed free throw. His shot doesn't go. Woodard inside, he'll put it in.
There's that height again. If you don't box out, they're going to beat you.
44 seconds left to go in the third period. Doug Emblidge along with Edison coach Dick O'Toole. We hope you're enjoying this basketball game as much as we are. That's Bill Mason. He sees the crowd, gets it back out to Blackman. Blackman drives around, finds Kyle Lidge. Lidge back into Mason, who instead of taking the shot goes inside to number 32, Mike Kulik, and he lays it in.
That's a great play by Mason, very unselfish. There's no question that he could have taken that shot, and he's one of their best players, but he saw the man open, he gave it up for that easy layup.
The starting five in for both teams now, and there's Jay Gangemi underneath for two more for McQuaid.
Nice feed by Drew Henderson. He got the ball high.
And the shot at the buzzer doesn't go. It's 47-44 Webster, and we'll be back at the War Memorial after this.
Remember that famous saying, "It ain't over till the fat lady sings"? Well, it's clearance time at your Suzuki dealer. Time to clear out one of America's least expensive 4x4s. Time to get the deal you want for the Suzuki you want. But time's running out, 'cause you know who is warming up. Buy one at your Rochester Suzuki dealer.
Now, class, let's begin.
Old
look.
New look. Yep, that's a new look. What's that?
Old cook.
Old cook.
Old cook.
New cook. Yep, that's a new cook. Old
look.
New look. Yep, that's a new look.
Very good, class.
Brought to you on behalf of Higher Education in Auto Collision, New Look Collision, Monroe Avenue.
We're back at the War Memorial. It is 47-44, and Webster will inbound the ball. Bill Mason for Webster coaches 16 points tonight. Sean Hickey has 10. The leader for McQuaid, Greg Woodard, with 15 so far. And there's Chuck Blackman over to Rob Wensley as they work it around the outside. Blackman drives, puts up the high lofter that goes in.
There's the penetration. He saw the opening in the zone, penetrated, and pulled up for that little running one-hander.
Again, I draw the Sherman Douglas comparison. Greg Woodard, John Kelly now with the ball for the Knights, who trail by 5 as the fourth quarter is underway. Drew Henderson goes up and down, and
good defense in the middle.
The story of this game, if you're just joining us, was a big run by McQuaid in the first quarter. They dominated totally as Webster put in only one field goal in that first quarter. Then Webster came out, their defense, their press sparked a rally, and they brought it to within 2 at the half in one of the most fantastic comebacks I've seen in a long time. And in the last quarter, the third quarter, McQuaid was 5 for 14, but Greg Woodard puts the ball in there, the three-pointer. It's 49-46.
You got to be aware of where Woodard is at all times.
Chuck Blackman tries a three-pointer of his own, and it's good.
Blackman's starting to heat up a little bit.
It is a 5-point Webster lead as Woodard drives with the scoop. What a play.
Good body control, avoided the charge.
That's why he's headed for Division I. Villanova and Raleigh Massimino can't wait to get him there. It's a 52-49 game, and Martzloff intercepts that pass trying to get inside, and Kelly is hassled a bit by Kyle Lidge as he tries to get it across the line, and McQuaid brings it up, and they'll set up their offense once again. Talk about Raleigh Massimino and Greg Woodard. He's the type of player who really can make an impact fairly early in his college career.
Yes, he can, and I'm sure he's going to have a good career there at Villanova for Coach Massimino.
Drew Henderson for the inside work for McQuaid, and it's a 1-point game.
McQuaid's still in their 2-3 zone.
There's Rob Wensley with a shot that gets the backboard. Webster with another offensive board, and Sean Hickey puts it in.
Sean Hickey came down that weak side. There was nobody blocking him out. Ball came into his hands for the easy 2.
Watch Woodard work. That one just short, goes off the iron, and Bill Mason gets the rebound. Woodard's so smart. He saw the lane was cut off and decided to go back around to the top of the key and tried a good shot, just didn't go in for him. There's the Blackman shot, and that was off balance from long range. McQuaid down by 3. There's Martzloff. Driving is Jay Gangemi, and he gets the easy layup.
Good give and go play.
And the crowds come alive on both the Webster and McQuaid side here. 6,000 plus at the War Memorial. The shot is blocked.
There's a big block down there by Henderson. It was a good feed from Mason to Lidge, but Henderson came over from the weak side. Big defensive play.
Drew Henderson, the transfer from Harley, a junior. He'll be here next year for the Knights. The Knights will lose Woodard and Martzloff, to name a couple. Oh, 1-point game. McQuaid looks to go ahead. Gangemi back to Woodard. Woodard thinks about it. He was NBA 3-point range almost there. Kelly. And there's the nice pass to Henderson from Jay Gangemi. Henderson drives through the paint and puts McQuaid back on top. 55-54. The lead has changed hands a half dozen times in this second half. There's the nice drive by Kyle Lidge off the backboard.
That's
what
a big time drive right there.
Kyle Lidge coming alive when it really counts. He did not play well. He was not shooting well early on, but Kyle Lidge is there now for Webster. There's Woodard with the drive, and he's fouled as he goes up. McQuaid's last 8 shots have been inside, Coach, in the paint.
Greg Woodard shooting the foul is one of 5 ball players. It'll be. He went strong. He's going to get those fouls because you're not going to be able to stop him.
Woodard at the line, and he's an important part of this team, but he's quick to emphasize he's not the only guy there.
I think we've proven this year that, and last year, that I'm not the only player on this team. If they're going to concentrate and try to shut me down, Scott or Drew or Jay or even John, they're going to come through for us.
That's true, and even if you do try to shut Woodard down, he's going to score his points. He's proven that all year, averaging better than 22.5 points a game. Greg Woodard drives it up court. John Kelly. Drew Henderson back to Kelly. It's a 56-56 game with 3 minutes to go. Jay Gangemi gets it inside to Martzloff, double pumps and puts it in. That's a big time move from the big guy.
Good square up to the basket, had the ball up there high.
And we have a timeout. Webster takes a timeout as they trail now 58-56. And 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go in a great contest here between the Knights and the Warriors. Greg Woodard 4 for 8 shooting in the second half. He's had 2 3-pointers.
Yeah, I'd like to take a minute and wish Pete Pavia, one of the all-time best officials in Rochester and one of the most respected officials in college basketball, is recovering from major surgery. I know all basketball people are with him.
Let's go into the huddle now as we do send our wishes to Pete and wish him well. Here's Joe Marchese in the McQuaid huddle.
Cover down like you did, all right? Play Mason. I got Mason. Listen, at the end of the game, they're going to go to Blackman and Mason. All right, so you've got to cover him. You cover down. All right? One shot. This is it. Let's go.
Scott Martzloff draws the duty to cover Bill Mason in the stretch run.
Well, I'm sure Coach Marchese feels that Blackman and Mason are the money players for Webster, and those are the guys he wants to make sure he's right on them at all times.
58-56. McQuaid with the lead, but Webster with the ball. Kyle Lidge decides to drive, and he is blocked as he goes up. Scramble on the floor, and McQuaid comes away with it. John Kelly, he has it knocked out of his hands by Rob Wensley, and the ball goes over to Webster.
Good hustle by both clubs.
We were mentioning Pete Pavia. We do want to send our wishes. We had to go into the huddle there, but he is a big name in basketball in this area, college ref, and we wish him well. There's the shot by Wensley, doesn't go, and the rebound, Martzloff. 3 for 4 and is shooting in the second half, gets the rebound. There's the steal by Blackman. Webster as the ball back defense has been the key for them all night, and a shot by Chuck Blackman. Chuck Blackman with the jumper from the top of the key.
He tickled the twines on that one.
And Webster leads by 1 with 2 minutes to go here at the War Memorial.
It's one of the 5 all-star players that are out there in the court tonight that'll be playing in the Ronald McDonald Exceptional Senior Game on March 19th at the U of R Palestra. He, along with his teammate Bill Mason. From McQuaid, you have Scott Martzloff, Jake Njemi, and Greg Woodard.
Kyle Lidge called for the foul there. Of course, Coach Dick O'Toole will be part of the McDonald's All-Star Game this year, the Exceptional Senior Game. And there's a girls' game too. Exceptional seniors for the girls
there is.
too.
They will be playing at 6 o'clock.
March 19th, 8 o'clock, the boys' game. The shot. Free throw misses by Greg Woodard. 59-58, a minute 50 to go, and Blackman brings it up. His Webster Warriors lead by 1. Chuck Blackman to Bill Mason.
Okay, Webster with the lead here. They're going to hold the ball and make McQuaid come out and get him.
Sean Hickey to Mason. Let's see how they run the stall.
Well, neither team is in the bonus.
Mason trapped in the corner. It didn't work, Coach.
Well, that's one place you don't want to go. You want to stay out of those corners. It's a good place to double team.
There's Martzloff with that shot again. It's good. He's made 4 of 5 in the second half. Scott Martzloff with some big money buckets. Here's Bill Mason.
Oh, I tell you, he was going them strong. Some contact, no call.
McQuaid leads by 1, less than a minute to go. Here's Greg Woodard. He's going to go all the way.
Offensive foul.
He draws. He is called with the charge, and that is a big, big call.
Well, it's going to give Webster a chance again, and here he goes.
McQuaid calls a timeout as you look at Woodard.
It's no question that Webster player had this position established.
We have less than a minute to go, and it is a 1-point ball game. You couldn't ask for more than this. Webster, the top seed. McQuaid, highly regarded in the AP poll, or the area polls, as the #1 team. Let's go into the Webster huddle and see what Bill O'Rourke has to say.
We got a good one. Yeah. Okay, if we have to foul Henderson, don't foul Woodard. He's the last guy you want to foul, right? But you have to go for the ball, or else it's 2 shots of possession. Right, now listen, we're going to score here. Drop back to our diamond and
Let's go!
Let's go! 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Come on, let's go!
Coach Bill O'Rourke, you'd never know it, but there's under a minute to go in the championship game, and it's a 1-pointer. But he is calm and cool. What a great guy. Of course, Joe Marchese, the success he's had in 2 years at McQuaid. A couple of great coaches, some great programs, and a great game here tonight. You heard him say it. They want this score here and then drop back and play some defense.
This is a big possession for Webster. They have to have something off of this possession.
There's Rob Wensley, out of range. Sean Hickey with the shot that doesn't go, and Greg Woodard with the rebound. 30 seconds left to go, and McQuaid leads 60-59.
They're going to have to start the foul. They're not in a bonus, but they're going to have to go for the ball to get to that bonus situation. They can't let them run down the clock here. They got a foul. That's
and
1-1.
1-1. They did not call the intentional foul here.
Well, I think he might have had his hand in on the foul before he wrapped the other one around, calling for the 1-and-1.
So, a couple of big free throws here as Scott Martzlaw, the big center for McQuaid, goes to the line. To put his team up by 2 or 3 points with 15 seconds left in a great ball game here. We don't need to tell you.
That's a big foul shot right there. Big, big foul shot. I made a mistake before. I thought that the bonus wasn't in effect, but it is, so it's a 1-and-1.
Webster calls the timeout, 61-59. McQuaid leads the ball game here, and they are looking to defend their AAA title.
If Martzlaw misses here, Webster can play for the tie. If he makes them both, you're going to have to shoot a 3, which makes it more difficult. You're out of timeouts.
As we listen in on the Webster huddle, I'm looking around the War Memorial, and the crowd is on its feet, both in the Webster section, the blue and gold, and the black and gold McQuaid section. There are 15 seconds left in the season for one of these ball clubs. The other will automatically go on to the States.
The one thing that McQuaid wants to make sure they don't do, if Martzlaw makes these 2, or this one, or even if he misses, they don't want to give up a 3-point play or a 4-point play at the end, what could cost them the ball game.
Let's sit back and watch this ball game come to a close. Martzlaw makes
a big one right there.
Some big free throws there, converts them both. And here's Bill Mason. He's got to think about the 3-pointer. Here's Kyle Lidge with the 3-pointer. No good, an air ball out of bounds. Webster retains possession. They'll get another chance at the 3-pointer with 5 seconds to go in the game. There's Wensley with a 3-pointer. It's blocked. That's the ball game. McQuaid wins its second AAA championship in a row, 62-59. And let's watch McQuaid enjoy this moment.
Scott Martzlaw, you know, what a way to end his senior year. 2 clutch free throws at the end. But you got to give that Webster club a lot of credit. They could have rolled over and died in that first quarter, but they came right back.
I'd say we had it all here tonight. The big opening by McQuaid, the great comeback by Webster, and then just a hard-fought second half. We saw the lead change several times, and McQuaid can celebrate again. Webster looking dejected, but they have no reason to hang their heads. They've had a great season. This just their second loss of the year. And Coach Bill O'Rourke over there to say congratulations to Joe Marchese. Bill O'Rourke, a great guy, and Joe Marchese has his second AAA title in 2 years of coaching the Knights.
Great ball game. You couldn't ask for any more than what we had here tonight.
One of the great things about high school basketball, the sportsmanship, as we see the 2 teams shake hands, and we'll be back to talk about this ball game and enjoy the great contest we just saw here as the AAA champs are crowned.
Boy, could I go for a Wendy's chicken sandwich. What's that special low price? I can almost taste that Wendy's all-white meat chicken filet. All that chicken sitting on that soft, fresh bun. Then the crispy lettuce and my choice of toppings. How much was that?
Wendy's Chicken Sandwich Special, now $1.49.
Just give me a second. I'll remember.
Buy one at your Rochester Suzuki dealer.
And we're back at the War Memorial, 62-59. McQuaid wins its second AAA championship in a row, a hard-fought game, and both teams had their share of the glory here tonight as the lead changed hands, probably a half dozen times or more in the second half. The winning coach, Joe Marchese, is with Mike Catalana at courtside.
Joe, 2 years in a row, the championship. Have you ever been involved in a game like this?
No, to tell you the truth, I haven't. When we gave up that big lead, I thought, we thought we were in trouble, to be truthful with you. But, this group of kids never quit. And I told them at halftime, I said, hey, you're ahead. We're sitting there in our locker room like we were losing the game. I said, we're ahead. You can't expect to beat a team like Webster by 17, 18 points like we had them. They're too good. So I said, we just got to come out. This is the type of game it was supposed to be close. Let's go out and win it. We can win it. I know we can win it. We got to play great deep. And the final score, that's our type of game, 62-59. Perfect.
When it comes down to the end, again, it was your guys at crunch time, Martzloff and Woodard.
No question about it. They're both winners. Both great players. I'm so fortunate to have a team like this. And Martzloff just played like a man in the second half. Woodard is great all the time, and Drew Henderson really came in. We wore him down.
Tremendous game. Congratulations, Coach Doug. McQuaid champs for 2 years in a row.
All right, Mike Catalana, Joe Marchese, congratulations to your players and yourself. Of course, he got 20 points out of Greg Woodard and 18 out of Scott Martzloff. Scott Martzloff with some key free throws and some key jumpers in the paint at the end of the game, Coach.
Yeah, Scott's, I thought, had a real good postseason here. He's played well in all the sectional games. He's gotten some big points for him. He's capped off a fine career at McQuaid. He complimented Woodard's outside game very well tonight.
Bill Mason had 15 impressive points for Webster. He really a key to the spark that brought Webster back into this ball game.
He's a good player. Mason's a good player. He plays hard every minute on the court. He tried to, he ignited his ball club, and he got him back in it, and they just came up a little short at the end.
Bill O'Rourke Jr. on the sideline with his Webster Warriors, and as we mentioned earlier, a long line of O'Rourke coaches. His dad started 38 years ago coaching at Webster, and son Tom played for him along the way. Son Bill Jr. played basketball for him, and then Bill took over. But there's the winning coach from tonight, the man who can go home with a big smile and the trophy and the net. Joe Marchese from McQuaid, just his second year here. What do you say to a coach who's won 2 championships in 2 years?
It's just he's done a fine job with the material he's had. He's had good players, but you still got to be able to win with them, and he's done that.
The most valuable player in the AAA classification. Guess who, Coach? Greg Woodard with his 20 points tonight, and he is bound for Villanova. Of course, he's got the states first, but he is a great ball player, and it was a pleasure to watch Greg Woodard and Scott Martzloff and the rest of the McQuaid Knights play a great game here tonight.
Greg's a fine ball player. I tell you, he's probably one of the most consistent players I've ever seen play the high school basketball. You can look out there on the floor, and he's playing the same game in and game out, and you just can't ask for any more of a player like that.
As McQuaid and Webster are awarded their post-game honors, we will run down for you the Section 5 all-tournament team from Class AAA. McQuaid guard Jay Gangemi is on the list, along with Webster center Sean Hickey. McQuaid's Drew Henderson also made the all-tournament team. Chuck Blackman from Webster. Center Scott Martzloff from McQuaid, of course, and Bill Mason for Webster. And again, the MVP in AAA was McQuaid's Greg Woodard. And we'll be back at the War Memorial as Webster can look back on a great season, but not feeling real well right now after the close game with McQuaid. We'll be back to the War Memorial after this.
Everybody can win.
Remember that famous saying, "It ain't over till the fat lady sings"? Well, it's clearance time at your Suzuki dealer. Time to clear out one of America's least expensive 4x4s. Time to get the deal you want for the Suzuki you want. But time's running out, 'cause you know who is warming up. Buy one at your Rochester Suzuki dealer.
pretty good for an old hooper, isn't it? I'm C.J. Ruoff, and I've learned that if you practice enough at anything, you get to be good at it. For instance, look at Ruoff Incorporated. Perhaps if you come along with us, you can do this too.
Nothing's better than a great night's sleep from a Spring Air back supporter mattress, except maybe for a Spring Air mattress sale. Just listen.
Great buys now at Northside Furniture, headquarters for Spring Air. Show any major credit card, even if it's charged to the limit, and get up to $2,000 instant credit. Free same-day delivery. Northside Furniture, 226 North Street.
After all, nothing refreshes like Spring Air. Nothing.
"67 years of Section 5 tournament basketball, and we had a great one here tonight. Certainly going to go down as one of the best, Dick O'Toole.
I think it will. You know, we had a lot of excitement here. Great ball game. You had the opener where it looked like it was going to be a blowout. Webster came back, got right back in it. They took the lead, and then it looked like they were going to take control and maybe win the ball game. McQuaid hung in there. They came back, was back and forth. You couldn't ask for a better game down the stretch.
Next Friday night at 7:30 p.m.
There's some of the celebration from the fans. There's some Webster fans in the blue and the black and gold of McQuaid. The final tonight, 62-59. And we have Bill O'Rourke Jr. headed for Mike Catalana's microphone on the sideline here. Bill O'Rourke, his team really was in a position tonight early on where they could have just, as you said, rolled over and played dead and folded completely. They didn't do it. And then McQuaid, we have to credit them with a turnaround. After Webster got back into the ballgame, it's easy for the team that was originally out in front to lose its control of the ballgame. Neither team did it tonight. They came back when they had to. And we're going to go over to Mike Catalana now and talk a bit with Greg Woodard from McQuaid.
Tournament MVP, and anybody who watched McQuaid play all year long and in this tournament, it's no surprise that it's Greg Woodard. An outstanding game again tonight, Greg, but a game with such a high flow of emotion up and down after that big beginning.
Definitely, it was just like last year. They came out real quick. Fairport against us last year, we knew what it was going to be like. We did the same thing against Webster this year. We knew they were going to come back. They're a good team. We knew they were going to come back. Marchese told us we got to be ready. We got to keep playing defense, play our game. Second quarter got a little out of hand, but we came back, Scott was clutch with the free throws, and we pulled it out.
Did you think there was any team that could possibly do what they did to you in the second and third quarter?
Well, we knew their press was really good. We didn't think it was that well. They're a good team.
Now you have to look forward to the state playoffs. How far do you think this McQuaid team can go?
As far as we want to. I think the sky's the limit. If we play well, if we play together, we got a lot of talent. We work hard, and I think we'll go far.
And a game like tonight's sure going to help them come playoff time. Let's send it back over to Doug.
All right, Mike, and as we look ahead for Greg Woodard, of course, he's bound for Raleigh Massimino's program at Villanova. And another Division I ball player came through in the clutch tonight was Scott Martzloff. 62-59 the final, and Coach Bill O'Rourke Jr. joins Mike Catalana courtside.
I told them before the game that I was proud of them to get as far as they did. I was proud at halftime for that wonderful comeback, and I still am. They're one of the greatest bunch of kids I've ever been associated with, and it's too bad it's over, but McQuaid did a heck of a job.
Thank you very much, Bill O'Rourke. Class in defeat, as he would have been in victory, but this night belongs to McQuaid. McQuaid, the champs of AAA. Back to you, Doug.
Coach, as we close it out from the War Memorial tonight, the McQuaid folks can enjoy another AAA championship game, and the folks from Webster can go home proud of a very good team. We saw a great game here tonight.
We certainly did, and I'm sure there's a lot of coaches out there are going to be glad to see that front line of McQuaid, at least 2/3 of it graduating.
Well, that is it for the War Memorial. We thank you for joining us. We had a lot of fun. We'll see you again next year from the War Memorial. Again, the McQuaid Knights, the champions of AAA, 62-59 winners over Webster. Have a good night.
This has been the final game of the 1988 Section 5 AAA Championship. Tonight's game has been brought to you in part by Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers Restaurants, by your local Rochester Suzuki dealers, and by Northside Furniture, Rochester's largest downtown furniture store. This has been a NewsCenter 13 Sports Exclusive.